Welcome back. I'm Mr. Rankin. Here's my email address if you have any questions. We're going to go briefly through Chapter 7, focusing mainly on learning objectives 1 and 4 in this video. The chapters around consumer debt, primarily auto loans and home loans. So number 1, we're going to understand the various types of consumer loans. The other learning objective that's in the book is calculating the cost, picking an appropriate source. And number 4, controlling your debt. Again, in this short video, we're going to focus on items 1 and 4. 2 and 3 are covered in your book. So, let's understand, first of all, that any consumer loan is generally a formal legal contract. So if you don't repay an auto loan, then someone can repossess your auto. So you need to understand what's in that contract and read it, and don't just have the salesman say this is a normal contract, go ahead and sign it. It's your money. Take the time to make sure you understand what's in there. And if you don't like something, you need to negotiate it and see if you can get that changed. These are for normally large purchases like homes or autos. And then we're going to talk about some tools that make sure that you don't let this kind of debt get out of control. So there's lots of choices in debt. They're basically centered around how you'll repay the loan, what kind of interest rate you'll pay, is there any collateral, and what is the length of the loan. So you can repay one lump sum payment, or you can repay in monthly installments. The interest rate may be a fixed rate, generally with a 5% over the entire course of the loan, or it could be a variable rate. A rate that changes every month, usually tied to an index like the prime rate plus a percent or something like that. So you need to choose whether you want a fixed or variable. Oftentimes you're choosing between whether you want a secured loan, i.e. there's an asset supporting the loan like an auto loan. You're putting up the car. If you don't pay, they repossess it, versus an unsecured loan, typical example being a credit card loan. And the last choice is it going to be a short-term loan or a long-term loan? Sometimes loans are as short as months, sometimes they're as long as 30 years for homes. Understanding the contract. First of all, there are a couple things that must be disclosed in every contract. First of all, the annual percentage interest rate has to be disclosed to you. The number of payments of the loan, if there are any late charges, if there are any fees, and then what is the total amount you will pay in principal and interest throughout the loan. You need to understand all of these 5 things that are disclosed. In addition to the disclosures, you need to understand if there's any special clauses that the lenders put in there. Now, a lender is not going to put a clause in the contract that's going to work to your advantage. They're going to put a clause in the contract to work to their advantage. So it's important you understand what these clauses are and you're okay with them. First of all, do you have to buy any insurance for the loan? Is there an acceleration clause? If you miss one payment, then the entire loan becomes due. Is there a deficiency clause? If your car doesn't generate enough money to pay off the loan, can they come back to you for the outstanding balance? Other recourses that the lender may have. You need to read through the contract and understand what these clauses are. Special 4 types of loans, advantages and disadvantages to both. Home mortgage, big advantage is the tax deduction of interest. The other advantage is the value of your home tends to appreciate over time. Home equity loans, again, are tax deductible. Student loans may have some tax advantages. The key thing is the underlying asset tends to appreciate, i.e. your value. Auto loans tend to have lots of disadvantages, but it does allow you to own a car if you can't afford to buy one. To control debt, a couple rules of thumb. First, there's a 28-36 rule. Your monthly mortgage payments divided by your monthly take-home income should be less than 28%. All debts should be less than 36%. The more conservative, the better. Now, what if you do get into trouble? You have some options. First of all, talk to your creditors. Second of all, get some credit counseling, but avoid these fix-it ads, people that can fix back credit. And the last resort is bankruptcy. So that's a quick overview of Chapter 7. I'm Mr. Rankin. Have a